He would be home again in less than 2 hours once they had swung into the Frederica, back on St. Simon's Island, forced to tell the whole ugly story to his father. Because he had been what he considered weak enough to come straight home after the trouble, he now had to find a way to justify himself face to face to the man he both respected and feared. Feared? The word shocked him. Could he fear the tall, gaunt, sad-eyed man who had always been as kind as he had been firm? Or did he fear that, facing his father, he would for the first time feel guilt over what he had done? He twisted nervously on the straight bench, turning his back to the others, pretending to peer out the cabin's small shuttered opening. If there really was a God, he thought, who decreed human relationships, he had certainly worked out a strange arrangement with parents and their offspring. When a son got into trouble, it wasn't enough that he carry his own burden. He also had to worry about his father. One problem turned into two if a man had a father who cherished plans for his son's life. Almost ashamed of himself, for the first time since he had been away from home, he longed for his mother. His young, lively, pretty British mother. She had gone away to Savannah to get well when he was 6, and never returned. She had died suddenly the week they expected her home, and because the hurricane season that year was too severe to bring her body back to St. Simon's Island, they buried her in the Savannah cemetery. He shivered, in spite of the damp, clinging heat, and reached for his shoulder cape, ashamed that his hand shook, relieved that the other passengers were too absorbed in their own vacuous talk to notice. He was, after all, almost 18 years old. He had been away at school with men his own age long enough to have learned how to shut out older people. Oh, he was courteous to them. But in his freshman year, during the first student rebellion, he had lost respect for most adults, except for his father and Jeremiah Day, the president of Yale. Even Dr. Day had not understood the student's viewpoint during the last trouble, and, in his heart, Horace had marked him off too. He pulled the cape up around his ears, in an attempt to escape the idiotic chatter of the obese, obviously ignorant, and obviously wealthy planter from St. Mary's, and the other 2 nondescript passengers. He needed quiet in which to think through what he would tell his father, and the harsh, whiskey rasp in the big man's voice irritated him. Thank God they were not St. Simon's people. He could be as rude as he liked. Not one of them would be curious about why he was coming home from college 2 years before graduation. The heavy-jowled planter had a right to talk. He had paid his fare, too. But what he said sickened Horace Gould in a new way, though it might not have affected him at all before the years at Yale. "Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am," the planter declared. "I picked this boat for its name, South Carolina. Now, there's a state, the only state in the consarned Union with guts enough to take a strong stand against the mountain tyranny of the federal government in this danger-filled year of our Lord, 1830. The other 2 passengers, man and wife, Horace assumed, agreed warmly, the woman with quick, self-righteous nods, the man with short little speeches when he could manage to edge one in. "Makes a God-fearing person pray and wonder. I say, it makes a person pray and wonder." "What makes a decent God-fearing freedom